Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, prisoners of all ages, today we've got quite the special show for you here in the Thunderdome. For today's challengers, we have in the west corner, the machine gun squad who's ready to turn you into Swiss cheese, the hybrids. In the east corner, we have the night terrors, the ones who bring fear wherever they go, whose horns are not just for show, the giant chargers. And in the south corner, we have the big man himself, the undefeated champion, the man of many titles, the tank. And who are they all going up against? Who's the poor sap stuck in the middle of all of this? Who's the one who will be going home in an ambulance tonight? You. Hello everyone, my name is... Excuse me, sorry about that. Hello everyone, my name is Professor Scalar and welcome to the R5B3 guide. A level whose extreme objective is by far one of my favorite type of objectives we've seen in this game. It's so much fun, it's quite the adrenaline rush, and it definitely has a lot of potential for the future, and I hope they do a whole lot more with it later down the road. But I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. You came here for a guide on the entire level, not just specifically the extreme objective. So let's tune it back a bit and go to the very beginning and talk about what we always do at the start of these guides, which of course is my recommended loadout. In this level, I recommend you take a bio tracker, a mine deployer, an auto sentry, and a sniper sentry. I like taking the bio tracker because, well, first of all, it's a classic staple in pretty much all my loadouts. There's really no time where you wouldn't want a bio tracker, but specifically for this level, it's quite handy since you have quite a few zones you're going to have to go through that are filled with infectious fog and a lot of dangerous threats, so being able to know where they are, how many there are. Also, there is an error alarm towards the very beginning of this level, so having a bio tracker to help counteract that will be very beneficial for you. The mine deployer, this helps out a bit during the main objective since you have a lot of alarm doors you have to do, and quite a few of these alarm doors can have multiple locations where they can spawn, which means a lot of doors that could be broken down. So being able to slap a mine on almost every single one of those doors and blow up a lot of the initial enemies will make it much easier for you and your team to focus on the scans and not so much on trying to defend yourself from the horde of enemies coming after you. It's also extremely helpful for the extreme objective, no pun intended, as you're going to have a lot of very powerful and big enemies coming after you, and just placing down about 20 or 30 mines everywhere will make it super easy for your team. You won't even have to fire that many bullets, and yes, 20 or 30 mines is reasonable, because you don't even have to save up that much tool refill, but as long as you save up a little bit of it and you use all of it that they give you in the extreme objective, you can place mines everywhere and make quite the wonderful firework display. When it comes to the auto sentry, I like taking this because there's a lot of situations where you can funnel almost every single enemy down one central path, so having an auto sentry to stagger them and keep them back a bit, make it easier for your like your hell guns or hell rifles to just shoot through and get multi-kills, makes it a lot easier for your team, very ammo efficient, and will save you on quite a few resources. And then finally, when it comes to the sniper sentry, this is fairly useful for the main objective. It is a very high powered sentry, and really there aren't that many situations where the sniper sentry isn't that useful, but I really like taking this because of the extreme objective, due to the fact that you're going to have a lot of very powerful enemies, and while you have a lot of mines, I will be dealing with quite a few of them, having a sniper sentry to just make quick work of them will make it even easier for you and make it pretty much the easiest thing to do in this level. Dropping down into the level, you'll see that your main objective is to bring the high security cargo with you to the unsealer, that way you can open it up. And this unsealer will always be located inside of zone 47. You start off in zone 45. Zone 45 itself doesn't really have much in there for you, just the cargo that you drop in with, 2 regular chargers, a terminal, and a security door to zone 46, and that's about it. Now, before you head to that security door to zone 46 though, I recommend you get on the terminal and list zone 49 and zone 50 for a key card. The security door to zone 47 requires a key card to get into it, and that key card will always be in one of those 2 zones, so you might as well figure out where it is now. Once you know where it is though, you can head to zone 46 security door and get ready for that, because that security door has an error alarm tied to it. This error alarm will spawn in 6 chargers every 2 minutes and 40 seconds roughly. which is a pretty decent amount of time in between waves. Although, it is 6 chargers, so they will deplete your resources fairly quickly if you are either grabbing more along the way or moving pretty fast, so make sure you're not dawdling too much in this level. The first wave of chargers will spawn in just a few seconds after you initiate the full team scan on Zone 46's security door, so finish the scan, kill the chargers, and head into 46 as fast as you can. Zone 46 will never have any enemies in it and will have a few resources that you can grab. Most of the time they are in the first room. There'll also be a security door to Zone 47 at the far northern end. Since you don't have the keycard yet, you could just leave the cargo by it, that way you can pick it up on the way back. And then you can head to the eastern side where you'll find the security door to Zone 48. Zone 48 security door is a class 4 alarm, and ideally you want to finish this alarm before the second wave of chargers spawn in. As for the alarm door itself, let's look at a map overlay. For this door, I recommend leave the northern door open and then have your auto sentry either on the inside facing towards it or on the outside facing towards it. That way, when enemies come from that direction, they will get staggered. With this door open, almost every single time, I say 95% of the time, enemies will come for this door. The other 5%, they'll go for the big door up above, so if you want to place a mine on it, you could, but you don't really need to. Finish the scans, deal with the rest of the enemies, and then I would recommend open all the doors that are connected to this room, that way you can preserve them for an alarm door later, and wait for the next charger wave to spawn in. Assuming you've been moving fairly quickly, the second wave should spawn in sometime soon. Deal with them, then open up the security door to Zone 48, and you can head on in there. Inside of Zone 48, you'll find quite a few enemies as well as a scout, but you should have plenty of time to deal with these enemies, assuming you did wait to deal with the next charger wave before opening up the security door, as you'll have about a little over 2.5 minutes or maybe just around 2 minutes to deal with this room, which should be plenty of time for you and your team. Once you have dealt with all the enemies in this room, look around and find the fog turbine that's in here, as you are going to need it to get into Zone 49 or Zone 50. Both of these zones are completely covered in infectious fog and have a blood door that leads into them. Zone 49 being to the north, while Zone 50 is to the south. My recommendation is as soon as you clear out all the enemies and you find the fog turbine, go down, place a mine or two on the blood door, and then open it and deal with the enemies. These blood doors aren't too dangerous as they don't spawn that many enemies. However, do be careful if there are a lot of enemies in the first room, as they will get pulled in, or if there's even a scout, as that will get automatically alerted, making things a little bit more difficult. But once the blood door has been pulled and all the enemies have been killed, I recommend wait a little bit. You're going to have to go down to infectious fog, and the last thing you want is for a wave of chargers to spawn in on you while you're down there, so wait until a new charger wave spawns in. As soon as they spawn in, deal with them, and I recommend 2 people go down below and 2 people stay up above. That way, in case something does go wrong down below and everybody dies, you have people who are up above who can fight out in the open and have a higher chance of not dying down there. So the 2 people who go down, I recommend would be the biotracker and the mine deployer. Biotracker, that way you know where enemies are. If the charger wave does spawn down there, you know immediately in what direction they're coming from. And the mine deployer, because if things go bad and you need to pull a room, you have quite a few doors that you can shut, place a mine on it, blow up almost all the enemies. It'll make things a bit easier. Also, if you can, try to take down a few frog repellers with you just in case. Well, once you're ready, mine deployer and biotracker, head down, go into the zone, look throughout it, get the key card, and as soon as you have it, come back up to the surface where the other 2 people are. Other 2 people, you're just way in the meantime, defending in case the charger wave spawns up above with you. Once you have that key card though, rush back out into Zone 46, head up to the security door Zone 47, there's just a full team scan on it, so no alarm. Open up the door, bring the cargo with you, head on in, and look at the 4 unsealers. One of them will be the correct one. Just to know which one it is, just walk behind them with the cargo. If you get the option to put it down, that's the correct one. Put it in, and as soon as you put that cargo in, the error alarm will be turned off and no more chargers will spawn in. For the rest of this level, you could take things a bit slower. Your main objective will update. It will tell you to go to Zone 52 to extract there, and it'll also tell you that the security door to Zone 51 has now been unlocked. So you can go through, collect resources. If you want to go back down to Zone 49 or 50, in case you left everything down there, go back through, collect any resources you need. And then once you're ready to go, you can head into Zone 48, go to the eastern side of it, and that's where the security door to Zone 51 will be waiting for you. The security door to Zone 51 introduces a new type of alarm, namely the mixed alarm. Mixed alarms are pretty much just what they sound like. They're mixed. They have a variety of different scans, and they aren't just going to be the same thing throughout all of it, even if it is a Class 6 or 7 scan. In this instance, with a Class 3 mixed alarm, you're going to have a full team scan at the beginning, 4 small red scans afterwards, and then a small sustained scan to finish things off. Small as in it's one of the ones that only takes about 10 seconds to finish once your entire team is inside of it. As for the alarm door itself, let's look at a quick map overlay. In this map overlay, I have zone 49 and zone 50 open, but obviously you're only going to have one of those two open, unless if you decide to open up both of them to collect extra resources. So they'll be coming from the one direction, as well as from the west. Which, if you remember earlier, the reason why I said to keep those doors open in zone 46 is so they don't get broken down by the error alarm and you can use them here instead. So my recommendation, place a mine on every single door that enemies can come from, and then have your auto sentry facing towards either zone 49 or zone 50 at the top of the ladder, that way it shoots enemies when they come up, and then place your sniper sentry facing towards the security door to zone 46 to deal with enemies who come from over there. Or you could do the inverse and have the sentry position swapped if you want. When the scan is finished and every enemy is dead, you can head into zone 51. Inside of zone 51, you are going to find a lot, and I mean quite a lot of giant strikers, giant shooters, a fair amount of regular strikers and shooters, and a scout to top things off. So you're going to want to be careful going through here. Try your best to stealth kill as much as you can, because one bad rumor alert can waste quite a few of your resources. As for what you can find in here, you'll find your first bulkhead key and the door control and the bulkhead doors to the high and extreme objectives. High is going to lead you to zone 52 where your extraction is, while extreme is going to lead you to zone 388. But before we get to them, we need to clear out this entire zone. This zone is split into two sectors. The first sector being up above outside the infectious fog. The second sector being down below, completely submerged by infectious fog. So go through the up above area and clear out all the enemies. While you're clearing everything out, you can also bring the cargo with you and take it to the far eastern side to the bulkhead door that leads to zone 52 and drop it off there, as you'll be picking it up on your way out of the level. Once everything up above is dealt with, you can go down below into the infectious fog and clear out all the rooms down there. The bulkhead door control is down below in the infectious fog in one of the side rooms. If you're just going for the main objective, put the bulkhead key in, select your main objective, and then head up above. However, if you're going for the extreme objective, you're going to be staying down there as the extreme bulkhead door is down below all the way to the south in the infectious fog. This bulkhead door is going to be a class 3 mixed alarm like the one that led into the zone initially, so we're going to want to do a little bit of preparation. As you can see with this map overlay, there's a lot of different areas that they can spawn and all of them are going to be up above. For this, I would just recommend shut every single door you can, and then when it comes to your sentries, place them down like you can sort of see in the background footage. Enemies are going to be coming down the ladder and going through the middle of the room. The auto sentry will stagger them and keep them back, while the sniper sentry will work on killing them, and this will give you opportunities to focus on the scan. As for the scan itself, make sure you have a few fog repels with you and you throw them throughout the room right when you start the scan. That way you don't have to huddle around a fog turbine and you can see more area and shoot enemies from a further distance before they get close to you. When the scan is finished and all the enemies are dead, you can head into zone 388 and get started on your extreme objective. Inside of zone 388, you'll see that your extreme objective is to find a specific terminal and use it to destroy the contained biomass. And this terminal will always be inside zone 389, so the next zone over from you. As for 388 itself, there will never be any enemies in here, but there will be a few resources for you to restock on. At the southern end of it, you'll find a security door to zone 389 that is a class 4 mixed alarm. So let's look at a map overlay. Enemies will be spawning out in zone 51, and most of the time they'll be spawning in the side rooms, which means you have doors that you can take advantage of. So I recommend going out there, making sure all the doors are shut, and placing mines on each of them, or at least the ones closest to you, as those are the more likely ones that they will take. Then as for your sentries, you can place them down inside 388 with you, somewhere near the entrance to it, that way it shoots them when they come into the room. Once your mines and sentries are set up how you want them, activate the alarm door, deal with the scans, kill all the enemies, and once all that's done, you can head into zone 389. Inside of zone 389, you will find the terminal you need in the center of the room, a lot of resources spread throughout the room, and 3 blood doors that are all currently under lockdown. In case you didn't already know what the level objective was, or you just haven't pieced it together yet, let me explain it to you. When you put the release containment command into that terminal, a full team scan will appear. When you finish that full team scan, a giant sustained scan is going to fill up the room, mainly the central platform that you're on, and all 3 blood doors are going to open up at the same time. From the eastern blood door, you will have nothing but giant chargers. From the western blood door, you will have nothing but hybrids, and from the southern blood door, you're going to have a tank as well as a few more giant chargers. In total, you will roughly have to deal with 7 hybrids, 7 giant chargers, and 1 tank. And this can very easily wipe your team if you are not prepared and you don't set some stuff up in advance. Namely, an absolute crap ton of mines. When I said you're going to be putting on a fireworks show earlier, I wasn't kidding. You're going to be placing down a lot of mines specifically on the eastern and the western sides. You can place a few on the southern end to help with those big chargers, but mostly the eastern and western sides where you want to focus these. Place them on the blood door, place them on the shelves, place them facing towards the blood door if you can, place them on the bridge. Put them wherever you can where they will be guaranteed to set off and they're not in a place where it might accidentally blow up you guys while you're defending. As for the auto sentry, I recommend place this down towards the eastern blood door, that way it staggers the giant chargers and gives you a little bit more time with them. As for the sniper sentry, place it on the western side, that way it can deal with the hybrids, because most of your attention should be focused on the eastern side and the southern side. You do not want these big chargers rushing on you and clocking you out within a second. So make sure you're focus firing them and you get them out of the picture ASAP. Then focus on the hybrids and get rid of them. There's a lot of cover in this room, so you really don't have to worry too much about being out in the open and getting pelted by them. Once all the giant chargers are dead and all the hybrids are dead, you can focus on the tank. When he's dead, well, it's basically done. The sustain scan will probably still have a bit more that has to go through, as it really doesn't take that much time to clear all of these enemies. So you just sort of get to sit there and just rest for a little bit, I suppose. However, do be a little bit careful, as a second tank can spawn in. I've had some runs where a second does not spawn in, I've had some where it does spawn in, and I have found no way to actually prove what causes it or what doesn't cause it. I've had some theories and some people have told me what they think it does, but I've found no consistency in all my runs. Sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't. So just make sure the person with the bio tracker is paying attention. If you hear a ping going on, then you know another tank has spawned in and it's coming after you. But even then, shouldn't be too hard. You should have plenty of ammunition to deal with it. Once everything is dead and the sustain scan is finished, your extreme objective is done. All you need to do is head to the southern zone to collect the bulkhead key, the one where the tank came from, and with that bulkhead key, you can head out. These 3 side zones have no resources in them whatsoever, so the bulkhead key is all you need. Once you have it, you can head back to zone 51, put that into the bulkhead door control, finish the full team scan for the high objective, and then head up above to the high bulkhead door that leads to zone 52. The security door to zone 52 is a class 4 mixed alarm, so let's look at a map overlay for it. As you can see, there's a few different locations enemies can spawn from, but there is a trick to make this entire thing much easier, and you could probably already guess what it is, seeing how I've told you to leave a specific door open. If you leave this door open, then every enemy, no matter where they spawn, will go for it, assuming the other doors are kept shut throughout the zone. So all you really need to do is place your auto sentry sort of facing towards that door. Either it could be up above facing towards it, or you could place it on the ramp facing upwards if you want. Just be aware that the scans can't go up above, so if that's the case, you might have to pick that turret up or just simply run through it and risk getting shot by it a little bit. Overall though, this alarm door is not too difficult. Finish all 4 sets of scans and then open the bulkhead door immediately. When you finish this alarm door, it will not stop spawning in enemies. The extraction alarm initiates instantly and you'll have waves upon waves of enemies coming after you forever. So open the bulkhead door, head on in, place down your sniper sentry facing towards the bulkhead door if it still has ammunition in it. If you want to grab the auto sentry, you can also do that as well. And then if you want to place down mines, it's the ending of the level. It is a little bit of a slow extraction, so you will be here for a little bit, but overall it's nothing too terribly difficult to deal with. You might be running a little low on ammunition and a little bit low on tool refills for the sentries, but you should have enough to hold out. And if not, then 1 or 2 of you guys can go act as bait and try to melee kill the enemies and keep them away from you for a bit. But once your scan hits 100%, you are done and out of that level. And that's all there is to R5B3. As always, if you have any tips or tricks for this level that you want to share, any questions for me, or just have something in general that you want to say, leave it down in the comments. If you enjoyed the video and found it useful, then consider hitting that like button. It helps out the channel and it helps these videos get noticed by people who really need them. And while you're down there, you might as well hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to get notified whenever I post a new video. Join the notification squad. I also have my own Discord server, so if you want to become part of the community I'm building and you want to chat with me whenever you feel like it, hop on in. Link is down in the description. Until next time, I hope you all had a wonderful Father's Day, or if you don't celebrate Father's Day, I hope you just had a wonderful day in general. And I'll see you all in the next video.